Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Bindman. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up because today we are doing a super vampy look, so stay tuned. I've already washed my face and done my skincare, so let's start by neutralizing the face. First thing I'm going to do is take my Peat Pat from MAC. I'm going to use my finger to just warm up the product and place that gently on the lid all the way from the lash line up to the brow. Now you can definitely use a tool to do this as well, and I might go back in just to make sure that the product is dispersed evenly. Painterly is a really great color if you are on the lighter side. It does have some pink in there. If your skin tone has a little bit more yellow or is a little bit more neutral based, then play around with the colors. There's another one that has a little bit more yellow. I think it's Soft Ochre, and that could be a really great one for you. But I do find that Painterly works pretty well. I'm also going to take my corrector, which you can see has hit pan. At this point, it's really important that you don't grab too much product. I find personally when I start to hit the pan on things that I'm grabbing even more because I'm overcompensating for the fact that I can see the metal pan underneath. And that can sometimes lead to too much product. So just be aware, double check all your base layer steps before you move on to the more critical things like the eyeshadow and everything to make sure that you're setting yourself up really, really well. So I am going back in with a brush. Same one I use with Painterly, there's nothing on there. I wiped it down and just making sure that everything's blended out. Especially in these inner corners, I find if I don't double check, sometimes that corrector can jump up here and then I get a little bit of a peachy, orangey peach happening, peeking through on my nose, which I don't need and I don't want. Because this is a very vampy look, I need to make sure that more of my complexion is done. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and jump into all of complexion, and I'm going to start with the skin tint T6 by Lisa Eldridge. This is my ride or die formula. I like this one a little bit more than the Seamless Skin Foundation, and I think I do because it just glides over the skin. It is like the perfect everyday foundation. I think the actual foundation is amazing and so great, but just for every day, all season, it feels like it has a little bit more hydration in there, which is great for my skin type, which is a little bit dehydrated, a little bit on the drier side, especially in the winter. And I do like that it's not covering up all of the skin. You can actually see the skin peeking through. So again, I'm going to go in with a finishing brush, my 55, and I'm just going to make sure that everything's nice and blended out before we move on to the next step. And you can see like some of my skin's imperfections are peeking through just a little bit, and that's totally fine. I like that. I think it makes, especially when you're doing a heavier makeup look, it makes everything not quite so perfect. And unless I'm doing a photo shoot or having a red carpet moment, I'm not interested in perfection. I'm just interested in amping something up. So next thing I'm going to do is my brows. I'm just going to fill in any gaps. I can always go back and do a little bit more if I feel like the eye dictates that, but having this base layer down is very, very helpful when deciding how far to bring out the eyeshadow and just how dark to go to. So just a really quick kind of fill-in job. And of course I'm going to do my tight lining as well. So this is Black Treacle by Lisa Eldridge. It is a newer one. Just gently lifting up the lid and getting right in that upper waterline. Next thing we need to do before we move on to the lips and eyes is finish out the complexion. So I'm going to add a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Contour right under that cheekbone, just a little bit. I don't need to go too extreme. Again, we're not looking for perfection, we're just looking for a little bit of coloration, we're looking for a little bit of sculpting. And I'm going to grab my beauty blender and just quickly do some long ovals. Always circling up when I'm doing my cheeks because I want to make sure that I'm lifting the face. It does matter, and it is kind of astounding if you go the wrong direction, then you do pull the face down. So you want to make sure you're circling up and around instead of down. I'm going to put a little bit of blush on my cheeks, just a little bit, because again, this is a very vampy look, so I want to make sure that it's not too much. Blend in a little bit of that elevated highlighter, give us a little bit of glow and also help to blend out that cheek product. So now we have a really great base for any makeup look, and we are going to be doing the Bella Sophia palette from Charlotte Tilbury, and then we're also going to be doing a really red vampy lip with Night Crimson. I'm going to do my lips first because they're dry. So I'm going to start with Lisa Eldridge's 3C, lining the lips and filling in. So this is 3C all by itself, and now I'm going to add Charlotte Tilbury's Night Crimson right on top. So we've got ourselves a super vampy lip. Now we are kind of going to work backwards with the Bella Sophia palette. We're going to start with this darker color. We're going to etch out our shape, and then we're going to go into this more burgundy color. We might pop a little bit with the lighter, and then we're definitely going to use a little bit of sparkles. First things first, I'm going to grab my pencil brush from MAC. I'm going to go into that darkest brown shade, saturate my brush. I'm going to pretend like this is a liner. So I'm going to smudge it into the lash line, and then I'm going to move it around. So just little dashes, and then I'm taking the top of that line and just really softly bringing that up towards the crease. I can always go back and bring that shadow out a little bit. By doing that, it acts like two different shadows. I'm also going to take some of that and bring it underneath as well. But now I'm going to switch my brush into more of a smudge brush. So the 207 from BK Beauty. The 207 is basically a bigger and softer version of a pencil brush, so it can push product around a little bit, whereas the pencil brush is for detail work. Now I'm going to go in with my 217 into the red just on the tip of my brush and amplify what's going on in that socket area. Lightly going at the very edge of that shadow and just softly blending that up, making sure that there are no harsh edges. If I feel like I need to, I can always go in with my 201, just again along that edge line, along any of those edges, and just really soften and kind of disperse that product a little bit more. If it's starting to feel like it's maybe vampier than I wanted. And I can see that I have a little bit of fallout. So first what I like to do is check my finger, and then I like to see if I can just pick it up. That way you can do a really quick cleanup. I've wiped down my pencil brush, so now I'm going to go into the lightest shade of the palette and do that on the inner corner just to brighten that up, just to give it a little bit of a pop. And then I'm going to take my finger into the sparkle topper and do exactly that. I'm going to focus that on the ball of my eye and just really gently pat that down. It adds a little bit more dimension. It also lifts the look just a little bit. So now we are ready for mascara. I'm going to use the Overcurl. This is just the extra that came with my product a long time ago, and I never put it back in the casing. So getting right into the roots, doing just a little bit on that lower lash line just to complement and make sure that everything is really cohesive. We have two more steps for a super vampy look. We need to add a little bit of concealer just to add a little bit more brightness underneath the eye, and also to help with any cleanup underneath the eye as well. I can bring this down the center of my nose if I want to. I can add it up into the eyebrows, like right under that eyebrow if I want to. I don't feel that that is necessary with this look, so I'm just doing underneath the eye. I don't want the skin to be too makeup-y. That's not the focus. The focus is on the eyes and the lips. And the final step is going to be a quick powder. So it is winter, and I'm going to use the 108 to just really, really lightly powder through the center of my face. Grab any shine that I don't want. And that is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching this really vampy look. It can be great for a night out. It can be great for Valentine's Day. Whatever your vamping plans are, I hope you have a great time. I do fashion videos every Wednesday, beauty videos every Friday. Make sure you are following me on Instagram and watching the shorts in between for more before and afters and lots of outfit inspiration. And I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye.